guys, thank you so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. It's the latest on trend with your girl Biami.
Big up yourself.
Whoa. Let's talk about Blue Therapy, The Aftermath, Deborah and Jamel. So I'm going to focus on these two first. That was a lot. If you guys didn't watch it, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but if you didn't watch it, let me just try and create the scene. The setting is a bit like, you know, the Real Housewives reunion, and you know, Andy's on the couch. It's still a couch setting, and Deborah and Jamal was sitting there. Jamal comes on, you know, Jamal is sitting there with his shades on, and the host is looking spectacular. Everybody's looking glam. I was thinking, boy, you better take them shades off. We have Mansa, who comes on a little bit later, who is Deborah's best friend, and they just address the whole situation. They address the whole episode, the 6 episodes. They really go into it. They watch some of the scenes back and relive some of the moments. A few questions. I wrote down a few keynotes that kind of stood out for me. The question everybody was waiting for: are they back together? Dun dun dun. Drum roll, please. Boom. They're back together, guys. They are back together. Very shocking, very surprising. I wouldn't say I was that surprised, but it's surprising to a lot of people. Before I do carry on, I do want to say that host was brilliant, much better than Denise, because I don't know what Denise was doing really. I don't know what purpose she was serving, but the host was amazing. She was asking all the right questions. She was very direct with her questions. She was very straightforward, and she was amazing. I absolutely love her. So she asked the questions, are you together? Jamal says yes, and Deborah says, I don't know, I wouldn't say yes. You know, she tries to beat around the bush. And then the host asks again, I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to just be straightforward. Are you together? Yes or no? And then Jamal says yes. And then Deborah's like, okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to say that. Now, it's not surprising that they are back together, because oftentimes it happens. I feel like with things like breakups or trigger warning abuse, I feel like a lot of women who have not experienced that, especially I'll speak for women, they often tend to say, oh, if a man ever cheats on me, if a man never lays hands on me, I'm gone straight away. Like, do you know, they tend to have that mentality, and I feel like it's not until you've been in that situation where you can actually really speak and really have a proper, real, factual opinion on it. Because when you're in it, it's a lot different to when you're outside of it. A lot of women do this, you know, a guy cheats on you. When you are attached to that guy, you've built some type of connection with him. He's become your only friend, you know, you're the person that you do everything with. Like, the connection is a lot deeper. You actually value that person to some level. You tend to stay even after they've cheated. And we have to remember that guys have a really good way of making it seem like they're really, really sorry, even if they're actually really not. Some guys will even go as far as crying, begging, telling you, babe, I'm sorry, I will never do it again. You're the most beautiful woman. You know I love you. You know I love you. Like, I don't even know what happened. It was a mistake, babe. But really and truly, like, when you think about it, this is your ex. There would have been some kind of conversation and dialogue between the two of you. You train your ex, and you spent 4 hours in the car. So he says it's 3 hours talking, and obviously I guess we can figure out what the other hour was for. So to me, it's kind of like, well, no, it wasn't really a mistake, is it? This is somebody that you've been getting closer and closer and closer to. So I can imagine him, you know, really laying it thick on her, and she's not gonna easily let go of that. She's really not. And also, as a woman, sometimes you think, I'm not gonna give that other person the benefit of the doubt, thinking that they've broken up my relationship. She's not gonna take my man away. Like, no, darling. Like, he still comes back to me. He's still begging me. And guys have a really good way of convincing women that, you know, they're never going to do it again and it was a mistake and they're sorry. So that's not surprising at all that Deborah went back. And he's got this nonchalant attitude. I can't even call it laid back. It's really unbothered and it's really distasteful. Like, it really just, I can't stand seeing it. He's very in and out of it. You know, one minute he was just like trying to show emotions, like, you know, he's sorry, and then the next minute during the interview, he was saying like, oh, it was a one-time offense. So, like, that's a very dismissive statement to make. It was a one-time offense. ... Like, so get over it. That's what you're practically telling me. Now, Mansa was then brought in. There was tension and it was very cold, the atmosphere between Mansa and Jamel. She must have made a statement saying, I'm alright and I'm not great. Like, I don't know if I misinterpreted that, but it's kind of like, well, why do you need to be great in his eyes? I would hate to believe that there would be something there, or that Jamal would have looked at her in some type of inappropriate way. Like, I would hate to believe that there's that. Like, I want to believe that Mansa is a genuine friend to Deborah. To be fair, I don't think that she's been doing anything wrong. I think that's what friends do. I have same conversations with my friends. You kind of just give each other advice. You talk about things. You talk about what you're going through and how you feel. And you need to be able to discern where your friend stands and if there is anything to be concerned about when it comes to your friend. If your friend is one-sided, telling you, oh, leave that man, because I've heard of stories, yeah, where the friend has been like, leave that man, or just listening, blah blah blah, and then a year later your friend is now shacked up with your ex-man. Can't even with these females, but you know, they kind of reconciled in the end a little bit and it warmed up, which was really nice to see. I think it's nice when your friends get along with your partner both ways. The whole parent thing came up and Jamal was asked a situation, so, you know, if that's changed, and obviously it hasn't changed because they feel like they need to work on their relationship a lot more before he introduces Deborah to his parents, which is fair enough. What I found a bit weird, and I don't know if it's just weird or if it's just common sense or whatever, but so he was asked if you had like a family gathering and your family was to be there, like a barbecue or something like not formal, would Deborah be invited? And my guy said no, probably not. When he said that, like that, I found that a bit alarming because I feel like I don't necessarily think that you have to invite her like a formally, like, oh, this is my partner. But I don't know, like for me, I feel like I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that because I'm just like, wow, like you wouldn't even invite her. But this is something that you're saying that you're looking to marry. Like, this is not something that you're just seeing or dating. This is somebody that you are trying to settle down with, but you wouldn't invite them to a family gathering. Like, there's just something that is just really weird about this relationship. Now, Jamal was asked if he could have handled things differently, revealing what he did with his ex. I don't know how he could have handled that differently, apart from the fact that he could have told her. A lot of people speculate he brought Deborah to therapy to basically humiliate her and to tell Deborah that he cheated, which is not far off because when he was then asked if therapy wasn't there, would you have told Deborah? He first said maybe, and then he added the maybe to maybe later, but I just don't know when. But his first response was maybe, meaning that the way he processed it, he already had a no, like maybe, probably not. But then that little window that he had gave him time to add that maybe to the end of his sentence, saying that he would have, but he just don't know when. The thing is, it's like, you didn't have to, and he didn't obviously think that there's any other way that he could have handled this different. And then he started making the excuse, oh, well, that's what therapy is about, is to be open and this and this and that. You could have told her outside of therapy, and then therapy would have made sense because then you would have actually been working on something that is actually really broken, and there could have actually been a real purpose to your therapy. But there really wasn't a purpose to your therapy. From my perspective, it was kind of like, you've been together for a year, you've got really, really small issues. which is obviously adding and building up when there's an actual real issue that could have really been dealt with. The trust, which is how to rebuild trust. And from an audience perspective, that would have been really good to take away. How to rebuild trust in a relationship when trust has been broken, when deceit has been sown into the relationship. How do you get over that, and can you get over that? Then the therapy would have had a lot more substance. Although it was entertaining, I think you could have told Deborah before actually coming to therapy, but you just didn't have the balls to do it. Like, so you was comfortable, and you would have been comfortable. And a lot of guys do that, which is realistic as well. A lot of guys can be there comfortable in their lives. Let's talk about the whole 2 weeks that they were apart, 2 week separation. Deborah was saying how she was broken, she was depressed, and this and this and that. I don't know how Deborah really feels about Jamel, to be honest. I don't know if they are in love. I feel like, I don't know if I heard this or I made this up, but I'm pretty sure I've heard Jamel says that he loves Deborah, right? But I don't think I've ever heard Deborah says she loves Jamel. Now, if that is the case, that she loves Jamel, 2 weeks to have gone and slept with somebody else, it's true, it's realistic, it can happen, because sometimes when you're broken and sometimes when you've been hurt, you want to replace the hurt with something else. Like, you want to fill that void. You will do anything to take that pain away. And sometimes as females, we get into these things where a guy comes along, he befriends us, you know, he acts like he cares, and we fall into the trap, and Bob's your uncle, it happens. That can happen, like, I can believe that. But please, someone explain to me why Jamel was flipping out though. Jamel was flipping out, calling her a harlot, saying how she wasn't transparent, how why didn't he tell her, this and this and that. The double standard was too much. As in, it was too much. I was just like, are you alright, bro? Are you okay? Like, what is the matter with you? First of all, you weren't together, and I don't even want to use the excuse as you cheated on her. It's not a tit for tat situation, and it really shouldn't be, because ultimately you sleeping with somebody, like, that causes the bigger problem long term. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you weren't together, you really don't have the right, in all honesty, to flip out and actually call her a harlot. And you see how he's, okay, you may not have seen it, but his behavior changed so much so that it led me to believe that he really wasn't sorry. In his head, he's done what he's done, he said sorry, and that's it. Like, people should just get over it and move on. But he's still trying to put on this act as if he actually cares, when he really genuinely doesn't. Because for him to now turn around and be like, oh, you're a harlot, like, you can't call somebody that you love, that you care about, that you see as your wife, that you broke down, that you cheated on, a harlot. He's really shown me a different side, and guys tend to do that a lot. It's like, why is it that you can cheat on a woman and she'll forgive you, but a minute a woman cheats on a man, it's like she's for the streets? It's literally like, he cannot handle it, he cannot take it. But yeah, guys, all in all, the aftermath was very, very interesting. I really enjoyed it. It's a shame that it's finished, and it did end really abruptly, but you know, I get it, because then it keeps us watching, and everybody, I'm pretty sure, tuned in to the aftermath who could anyway. It's going to be very interesting who the next couples are going to be. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But thank you for tuning in, guys, and I'll speak to you guys in my next video. Don't forget to hit your notification bell so that you are notified whenever I post.